All right, yoga crew, welcome in. What a cozy place to be this morning. Thank you for joining me. My name's Alina. Does everybody have 2 blocks? We all got the memo. Cool. I didn't catch most of you on the way in because I'm learning all of this new stuff on the computer up there. Yoga brain and analytic brain, sometimes they're like, what is happening? So my meditation this morning, I've been doing this thing on Insight Timer, if you're familiar with that. And today was about alignment. And so I've just been thinking about that this morning and what in our lives helps us to stay aligned and sort of in a better state of harmony in our lives. And I think that alignment can actually be pretty challenging. It's not like it's a state of being, right? But it's not like a state of bliss and happiness. Like sometimes staying in alignment can be pretty challenging to do. We have to do things that we don't really want to do because we know it'll have a better payoff in the future. And it takes patience and it takes repetition. And so same thing in our practice, maybe it's somebody's first class today, but none of us walked into our first yoga class and we're like, oh, I know the alignment of the poses. It takes time, right? It's like this process. So we're going to pay attention to this idea of alignment in our practice, our physical practice today. It'll be a little bit more like of a workshop class, just to really break things down a little bit more. And just relating that back to our lives of what helps you stay attuned and aligned, and what are those things that you can really cultivate in your life as we're in this beginning of a new year. Sounds pretty good, right? Could all use a little more harmony. I know I could. Okay, so we're going to use our blocks to start and just crack open a little bit through the front line of the body. So supported fish. I love to start practice this way. One block will come really high up on your shoulder blades. The other one is to come underneath your head if you want it. You can skip the head block if you'd like. So you lie down. The block is high underneath your shoulder blades, the flat part of your shoulder blades. And the other block can be behind your head, really at any height that feels good. We're all a little bit different. We're walking into this room with different needs in our body. So do what feels good. And you can take the feet wide and knock your knees together. If it feels good to straighten your legs, do that. But let it be really nourishing and supportive. Land into the foundation of the support beneath you. And without the need to change or shift anything, just be exactly as you've shown up this morning and notice it. Alignment has a lot to do with being honest and real with ourselves. Take almost like a sigh and exhale out of your mouth and lean in deeper to the earth, to the grounding. And then start to trace your breath in through the nose, down the throat, into your lungs, your belly. And a big breath out. And just do that several times, really watching your breath move in, the texture, the feeling, the expansion, and then feeling the breath move out. Feeling the ribs flare, the space through the front of your body. When was a moment in your life where everything really seemed to fall into place? And what was it in that moment that made you really feel in alignment? Keep breathing deep. What does alignment and a sense of harmony bring to the forefront of your life? Now, even though the front body is really nice and open here, feel just a slight containing of your ribs together. Go ahead and place your feet on the ground if your knees were not bent already. Keep the support of the blocks and extend your arms straight up towards the ceiling. So your palms are facing the ceiling, your arms are straight up at shoulder height. You can flex your fingers back. Imagine that your palms are connected to the ceiling. And then bend your elbows. Your palms will stay facing skyward. And just start to move your fingertips back above your head, so with bent arms. And then just take some movement there. So you can take your arms back up and just move your arms back. Maybe you take a cactus in the arms. I want you to just feel the shoulders start to widen and open. And pay a lot of attention to the shoulders, the chest today. When we come into alignment in our yoga postures, right, it's really about attuning to the stacking of the joints. Take your hands behind your head like you would for a sit-up. Start to lift your head away from the block. And then take your hands behind your knees and come up to sit. If you need to take another step to get there, go for it. Take your blocks to the sides and come into tabletop. And just begin to move. So some freedom of movement as we begin. We'll move together in a moment here. Anything goes. Anything goes. Attuning to your body, the way it feels in space this morning. And how your breath can enliven spaces that feel a little sticky. What gives you a greater sense of alignment? Okay, we'll come back into tabletop. Meet me there. There's no huge rush. If you need a moment, take it. Press up into cat pose, around your back, chin to chest. Feel the shoulder blades widen on your back body. And instead of cat-cow, we're going to take some scapular push-ups. So just the shoulder blades are moving. Start to bring your shoulder blades together and gently drop your heart down, but you're not swaying in the back. Spine stays pretty long. And then widen your shoulder blades again, like a cat pose. Find a lot of space along the back of your heart. And do that a few times. Shoulder blades move in and together. Feel that squeeze on your upper back. And then exhale, round up, widen your shoulder blades. Do that one more time. Heart moves down. And then back of the heart widens. Come to neutral tabletop. Find strength in your belly. Knit your front ribs together. And feel aligned, shoulders over wrists. So sometimes there are these postures that we think are so complicated, but it's really just attuning the joints. Take your right arm forward and your left leg back. Spinal balance. Resist the urge to sway big time in your low back. So pull and anchor your low belly towards your spine. Reach through your limbs. Take a breath in. Exhale, right hand taps your left thigh under your body. So kind of bend in. Good. Inhale, extend. You got 2 more like that on this side. Exhale, tap. Feel the core fire and catch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in and tap. Find the extension first. And then release hand and knee down. You might shift side to side a little bit, prepping for the other side. Spread wide through your fingers. Reach your left arm forward, your right leg back, other side. Cool. Stretch through your limbs, but feel a plugging into center line. Take a breath in. Exhale, tap under body. Inhale, reach. Take it slow. Exhale, tap. Moving from your center, your core, breathe in and reach. Last one, tap underneath your body. Really beautiful. Inhale, extend, reach, reach. Tabletop, shift around a little bit. Do something that feels good. Okay. Curl your toes under. Sit your hips back into toes pose. So you're welcome to use your blocks. Your block can come between heels and booty to alleviate the feet a bit. If you have a foot injury, full permission to let toes pose go. Grab your other block in your palms. Squeeze the block between your palms, and I want you to feel like a hug in. Bring the block up over your head. So right away when we do that, it's easy to like dump forward, but contain your ribs back, zipper up through your belly, and send your arms longer, but from the spaciousness of your side bodies. Squeeze the block, little isometric press here, and free up your neck a little bit, chin back. Bend your elbows and start to move the block behind your head. Keep squeezing the block, reach it up. So just these little dips here, it's almost like tricep work. And this is going to show you some mobility in the shoulders. Keep going. Exhale to drop. Inhale to lower. Here's your work. Keep containing the ribs back, open heart, but there's stability. And that starts to work your shoulders pretty quickly. Right? Take the block in your hands to the top of your mat. Keep toes pose if it's okay. Take your arms out into a cactus shape. As you exhale, round your elbows in, sort of round chin to chest. Do that again. Inhale, arms to a cactus. Exhale, round in. One more time to your cactus. Here's your change. Right arm under left. Either grab opposite shoulders or take eagle wrap. Lift your elbows away from your chest, your hands away from your face. And if it feels good, you can sway the hands side to side. So a lot of attention to the upper body today. Little sways. Come back to your wide arms. Inhale. And this time, take the left arm under the right, other opposite shoulders. Lift your elbows up, or you can take full eagle. And sort of widen the upper back like we did with those scapular push-ups. You can wave the hands side to side, just kind of getting underneath the shoulder blades, breaking up that area that so often there's knots. Nice work, keeping the feet wide in your arms, big and wide. Take your hands to the floor, remove the blocks. They'll come up to the top space of your mat, and just untuck your toes and patter your feet on the earth. Okay, come back to sit on your heels just for a moment and take your arms straight out. So this is just kind of the workshop. We'll flow for sure. Arms straight out, and I just want you to feel your fingers twist out and in. And notice just that kinetic chain, right? The fingers are moving, but it's rotating the shoulder in the socket as well. So there's these fine-tune alignments in our practice that can really shift things. They're like these little aha moments. Okay, take your hands to the floor. And I want you to turn your hands ever so slightly out. So like your pointer fingers are straight forward on your mat. Just try it. Spread your fingers wide. Pointer fingers straight forward, curl your toes, downward facing dog. You can walk your feet back. And that might feel funny. If it's causing you pain, let it go. But if you can feel that hug of your shoulders in towards midline, there's a little bit more of a rotation. It requires maybe a little more strength. Pedal out your legs. Really drop one heel down and get into the calf muscles. Nice work. Take your right leg up and back. And just pause for a moment. So feel this. It's not just a swing of the leg, but instead press into your palms to lengthen your lifted heel and get strong through your lifted leg. Nice. Think knee to nose, but step through, sort of round into the spine, foot between your hands. Beautiful work. Tap your back knee down. Hook your right thumb in front of your left and come up to a crescent moon variation so the arms or fingers are really spreading wide. And as you tug the fingers away from one another, you can bend into the elbows and find some expression up and open through the front line of your body. For more stretch in your back quad muscles and hip flexors, you can untuck your back toes. Feel that tug, a little pull side to side. Can you free up the root space of your neck? Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. You can find your blocks if you'd like. We're coming into an L stand, so lift onto your right leg, left leg back. This doesn't have to be a big standing split. Focus of the stacking of your ankle, knee, and right hip. Keep your lifted legs strong and straight. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tap your left toes down to the earth, kind of behind your right heel, but with a straight leg. Inhale, lift left leg up. Controlled and steady, exhale, tap toes behind the heel. Belly firm, inhale, lift up. Last one, these split legs, sort of lifts and lowers, inhale, lift up. Both feet together, top of your space, hang in, forward folds. You can certainly continue to use your blocks or let them go. Let some heaviness come into the crown of your head so you can lengthen your cervical spine, your neck. And just like we come into this room and practice the postures, we really need to set clear intentions and goals in order to gain more alignment in life. Feel free to bend your knees generously, blanket your belly to your thighs. Inhale, slow rise to standing. Take your time. You can round or come up with a flat back. You choose what feels good for you. And just shrug off a little bit. So we've already worked the shoulders quite a bit. Shrug back. Shrug forward. Feel your feet on the earth and lift your arms to the sky. Big breath in. Firm down through the soles of your feet. Feel a little lift through your kneecaps. Let's go ahead and bend into the right elbow. Capture it with your left hand. So right away, right, it's easy to splay out. Contain the ribs, pull back, align your spine, and take a little tip up and over towards the left. And build a lot of space through that right side body. You can press your hips a little bit to the right side too. As you rise up through center, unbind your arms, reach tall, and you'll change it out. Bend through your left elbow, capture it with your right hand, and take a tilt over to the right side. Okay, firm down through the foundation of your feet, strong legs. You're not yanking on your arm, but just keeping that little clasp in order to move from the side body rather than the shoulder girdle. Work. Inhale, reach up, unwind, unbind. Exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. Arms move wide. Hinge. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands, blocks to the sides. High plank. Step back. Feel your alignment here. You're welcome to use your knees as a third point of contact in plank pose. Can your neck be an extension of your spine? Yeah, right away. Nice adjustments. Reach the crown of your head out and forward. Let's take the right forearm down, left forearm down, forearm plank. Your knees are always available. Forearm plank, same idea. Feel aligned, shoulders over elbows, chest broad, upper back broad, hips in line with your shoulders. Nice work. Take an inhale. Lower your knees and hips down, Sphinx pose, Pharaoh's pose. Draw your heart through the gate of your arms. Can you pull up through the pit of your belly just a bit? Slingshot your heart through the gate of your arms and free up your neck. When we hold tension, a lot of times in the posture, it shows up in these areas that really don't need to work. The neck, the toes, the face. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to press into your hands, curl your toes under, press up to forearm plank again. Forearm plank, forearms down. Awesome. Walk your feet in. You can bring your hands closer together. Walk your feet in. Baby dolphin. I don't want this to be big dolphin. Walk your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat. Press down through your forearms a lot. And send your sit bones higher. Breathe in. Lower your knees. Drape your arms back. Child's pose with arms back, forehead to earth. Let your shoulder heads get heavy. They drip down with gravity. What does alignment bring to the forefront of your life? Good. Hands under shoulders. Maybe you take the fingers just slightly turned out, downward facing dog, hips high. Moving slowly to really attune into the micro shifts of alignment in the poses. Sometimes it's easy to spend one breath, one movement. But what about when you stay? Lift your left heel high, breathe in. Instead of just swinging the leg up, get active. It's like from the fingertips to your lifted heel, there's this long line of energy. There's power. Press the earth away. Breathe in. Exhale, knee to nose, step through, left foot between your hands. Very nice. Back heel to ground. Back knee, rather, grounds. Hook your left thumb in front of your right and bring your hands up overhead like these sunbeams, these rays. So with the thumbs hooked, you can tug energetically the hands apart, bend through your elbows, and feel that widening of your chest. For more in the back leg, uncurl your back toes. There's probably a lot of heat, maybe some like tingling sensation in the shoulders. Take a breath in. Slowly, hands to the earth. You can find your blocks. Launch into L stand, right leg high. You can totally have fingertips on the earth as well. And maybe you even take a little tiny shift forward and back on this side. Like feel how it is to have the joints aligned and not. The muscles work much harder when the joints are not stacked. It becomes a bit more effortless when we can rely on the structure of the bones. Breathe in. Feet together, forward fold, bend in, hang loose, ground through your feet. Little work for the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Thread the shoulder blades together. Reach through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. This time, inhale all the way to stand. Bend your knees, rise, reach. Exhale, bend your left elbow. Either side, really. Option to take the foot behind, left foot behind your right. Just a little deeper variation, or you can keep both feet grounded on the earth. If you're taking the foot behind, stay on the ball of your foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Nice, we're all on the same side, even though I kind of mixed it up. Inhale, rise to center. Bend your right elbow. Option to step your right foot behind. And feel that billow of space all the way through the right side body. Stable legs, open ribs. Step the feet together. Inhale, arms to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. The arms move out and wide if that feels okay. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant hands, step back, high plank, pause. High plank, pause. High plank, pause. Whew. This is such good training. The baby steps to balancing on the hands, to igniting your core and feeling the strength of your legs allow for buoyancy. Please tap your knees down, toes pose, hips to heels, just for a moment. If you don't want to curl your toes, no judgment whatsoever. Okay, take your arms out, palms face out in front of you. So chaturanga, we do this a lot. When we come in, it's about 90-degree angles and stacking the joints. So just practice here while you're upright, not bearing weight. Bring your elbows in towards your side bodies. They don't come past this point. Your arm naturally hangs in this position. It does not hang in this position. So the shoulder heads are not dipping forward. So just do this with me a few times. Arms out, draw the elbows in. They don't come past this point, but they can go less, okay? Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbows in. And the elbows are hugging into the side bodies. Take your hands to the floor. Take plank on your knees. Why not? Let's take it on the knees. We're focusing on the arms right now. Shoulders over wrists, spread your fingers wide. Shift forward a little bit, and now do the same thing, bearing your weight, lower halfway down. Your shoulders do not come below your elbows, okay? So we're not diving down, we're just lowering part way. Press back up to plank. Whew, we got two more here, lower halfway or less, press back up, plank. Feel how your belly can ignite the strength, lower halfway or less. Now up dog, you can roll up and through, come onto the toes. Feels a little different, right? Exhale, down dog, lift your hips high. We'll get to practice that a little bit more, but just little tidbits of workshop as we move through our flow. Take a breath in, full breath out. Lift your right heel high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge, forward. Stay off your back knee this time, rise to high crescent arms to the sky. Cool. Empower your back leg, and if it feels good to micro bend it to lengthen your tailbone down, do that. Big breath in. As you exhale, we're just going to take the arms to a cactus. We did this in our toes pose earlier. So instead of like this need to get expressive into a back bend, just cactus the arms, contain the belly, contain the ribs, widen the arms, and press your forearms back. Good. Take a breath in. Stay really tall and upright. Bring your elbows and your palms together, or do your best, right? If the elbows don't touch, it's okay. Take a breath here. Exhale, hands to heart, wide elbows. Press your palms into one another. So really press the pinky fingers and stabilize your upper body through the hands. Start to shift your weight forward. Come onto your right leg, hands remain at heart center. So you're like squatting and the right leg is stable. Active lifted toes. Press through your palms, elongate your spine. Take a breath in. Low flying, right knee bends, step back, warrior one. So the back foot is at an angle about 45 degrees. Do your best to sort of shift your upper body forward. It's okay if the hips aren't perfectly square. Square the rib cage instead. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands move wide, flip your palms back and interlace either hands or opposite hand, kind of to opposite wrist. Press down through your back foot, feel that anchoring, lift your chest. Exhale, humble warrior, dive forward. Your right shoulder can rest on your right thigh or start to drip inside of it. Do your best to stabilize into your feet. Both are anchored evenly, even though your weight is more forward. Take a breath in. Keep the hinge, hands to the floor. Walk your hands far up, out to the left, spider tip fingers. And just gently press your hips back behind you. You can let your head drape between your arms. No need to keep tension there. Breathe deep. How does your breath align the shape of your body? It's like really moving from the outer sensation to the landscape of your inner world. Start to walk your hands back. Take wide leg forward fold. So you just spin your front toes to be parallel to the back. And it may feel good to move, to shift, to bend a knee and the other, or maybe to be still. Okay. All right. Movement starts to come back to stillness at the center line between your legs. Inhale, rise up halfway. Be with me, please. As you exhale, you're going to pivot just the front foot forward. So think warrior 2 feet. And just check out your feet. So the back foot, it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Your front heel is aligned with your back heel or maybe your back middle arch. Grab one of your blocks. They should be close by. Place one of your blocks to the inside of your right foot at a tall height. Place your hand on top of the block. Okay, so get really stable here. Feel a press down, and your right forearm is pressing to the inside of your right shin. Left hand, you're just going to sweep it up all the way to the sky, unfold your elbow, and take a big wide wingspan. A really deep extended side angle. If you're taking the strain into your neck, maybe you choose to gaze down or release right ear to right shoulder. Feel the energy of pressing arm to thigh, thigh to arm. Continue to anchor into your back foot. Take a breath in. Exhale slowly, top arm comes back down. Pop your back heel up, low lunge. Plant your hands. Inhale, high plank, feet meet. Option to drop to your knees, chaturanga, lower halfway. Remember the work that we did. Nice, inhale, up dog, roll through. Exhale, down dog, hips high. That was awesome. So attuned to detail. Lift your left heel up. Without a lot of momentum, use strength. Low lunge, step forward and through. Crescent lunge, high crescent, Anjaneyasana, rise. Feel the hug of your inner thighs squeeze. And check it out, like, are you really letting go through the front body, or can you contain back and feel strength so that you can elongate your spine? Breath in. Exhale, cactus your arms wide. It doesn't have to be a dump back. Just let the forearms move back. So as the arms move back, the chest gets more broad without having to arch. Bring your elbows, forearms together, or do your best. Bring your hands to heart center. And I want you to press like crazy. So the hands aren't just like hanging out. They're pressing, they're active. Let that activate the space of your chest, your pectorals. Slow launch onto your left leg. Keep pressing your palms, elbows wide, neck long, back toes active. If you're opening your hips to the side, dial them back down so they're squared more to the earth. Low flying, left knee bends. Step back to warrior one. So the back foot lands at an angle, arms up. As you root your back foot, the knife edge of your back foot down, feel a stretch through the calf. Take a big breath in. Exhale, arms wide, clasp, hands behind you, opposite grip, opposite thumb on top, or capture the elbows. Take an inhale and lift your chest up and away. And exhale, fold, humble warrior. Pretty big hip opener. You rely on the alignment of your legs to stabilize so that your upper body can be more free and let go. Are you clenching your toes, and is it necessary to stay here? Release your hands to the floor. Walk your hands up and over to the right. Keep your legs as they are. As you walk your hands up and over to the right, press your booty back. You choose the intensity there. What are your practices? What are the mindful things that help you stay more in tune and aligned in your life? Walk your hands closer to your front foot and take Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. You just kind of pivot on your feet. Let it feel good. Feel this gentle cue and see what happens. Your heels stay grounded, but start to shift the weight more forward onto the balls of your feet. Imagine that your inner thighs could roll together and back, which widens your sits bones. Can you practice that and see if it gives you access to let the torso hang a little bit more? Okay, and if you're like, what are you talking about? It's all good. Wide leg forward fold. We're opening the backs of the legs. The idea is that there's these micro adjustments we take in our practice that bring these macro improvements. And it takes time and patience. And sometimes we see these really big, grandiose postures, but it took a lot along the journey to get the alignment of the body there. The micro pieces are the most important. Take a halfway lift here, inhale. You're gonna stay grounded, just spin your left toes forward. Warrior two stance, grab your block. Block connects to the inside of your left foot. Place your left hand on the block. This is huge hip opening. And then the right arm, just kind of start to reach it up to the sky, make your wingspan really big and expressive. Some lineages of yoga say, like, gaze up to the top hand. How does that feel in your body? It might feel better to gaze down. Breathe. You guys are holding your breath. Breathe, 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 please. And it's about making these little changes so that the practice better suits you. And that's my opinion. Take your right hand back down to the earth. Spin your back heel up. High plank, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Your knees are there for support. Don't let the shoulders dip down. Inhale, up dog, heart open. Yeah. Exhale, down dog. Lift your hips high. Lift your hips high. We're going to get a pause here. I know you guys have been working hard, lots of strength, but be with me just for a moment. All right. Drop. One forearm down, other forearm down. You're going right to dolphin pose. Right into dolphin pose. We're not taking balance, so you can let your head dangle. But check out the alignment, elbows and shoulders in one line. You can clasp your hands together if that alleviates some of that rotation in the shoulder. It's big stuff. Toe your feet maybe just one little bit forward, but keep your sits bones reaching skyward. All right, lower down. Back to that child's pose with your arms back. It just gives your shoulders a break so that they can give in with gravity. Awesome opportunity to grab a sip of water if you need it. Take care of yourself for a moment. Reconnect to your breath. Reconnect to the inner landscape. It's a unique experience. We're doing these physical postures, right? This outward movement, but it really comes from the inward journey. What brings you into deeper alignment in your life? And when you think of those things, are they small things or are they big, huge actions? Round yourself up, palms to the earth. We're going to take a short flow, mix it up a little bit. Downward facing dog. Maybe you practice the fingers more forward and just feel the strength of the shoulders there if that's been resonating with you. We unite the breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. In through your nose. And out your nose. Lift your right leg high, inhale. Exhale, low lunge, step forward and through. Paying attention to alignment, moving quicker, arms up, crescent. Exhale, cactus arms, contain the ribs. Good, inhale, forearms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Find your lift into a standing balance and pause. Find your gaze, reach your arms forward, optional. Keep the balance, cactus arms, wide pull. Hands back to heart. Bend your right knee, warrior one, step back. Good, exhale, stretch the arms, back behind. Wide chest, breathe in. Exhale, humble warrior, dive forward. Here's our pause. Bring your hands to the floor. Grab your blocks. Shorten your stance, pyramid pose. Two straightish legs. Your toes are pointed more forward. And as you press into your right heel, can you kind of suck your right thigh bone up and into the socket deeper? Like your right outer hip could move back. It's okay if the knee is bent. And in your own way, move the blocks, hands down, downward facing dog. Realign there, take a breath in. Breath out. Ujjayi, inhale the nose. Out your nose. Left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, step through to lunge. Pay attention on the journey. Inhale, crescent, arms high. Exhale, wide arms, cactus. Forearms together, inhale. Hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. Start to shift forward and launch onto balance on the left leg. Yeah, it's hard work without the momentum. Optional, reach your arms forward in space. And exhale, lat pull, cactus arms. Hands to heart. Press palms, press, press. Bend your left knee and step back, warrior one. Almost home. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, take the bind, hands back. Widen your chest, breathe in. Exhale, dive forward. Bring your hands to the floor. Option to grab your blocks, pyramid pose. You might take a slightly shorter stance. Think of pressing into your front foot and wrapping your left outer hip back. Your low back is fairly level and flat. Check in there. Do it with your hand or just your mind's eye. Remove your blocks, step it to downward facing dog in your way. Yeah, all the power to you. If you're practicing those chaturangas, go for it. Drop down to your knees, please. Okay, so getting upside down. How we doing? You guys doing okay? Getting upside down, this is something that a lot of times we're kicking and flailing and we think we're going to catch our body in space. Until you have the alignment of the bones stacking, you probably aren't going to find balance, and that takes time. So here's what we're going to practice. Take both of your blocks and you're going to bring them, I don't know, like a fourth of the way down your mat and wrap the mat around. So that's just going to lock your blocks in place. They're going to be stable. A lot of you have done this with me before. We've been opening the shoulders, we've been opening the chest. So we are going to try on some dolphin, but our arms are going to be longer because of the blocks. So for this dolphin pose, take a variation with your hands interlaced. Elbows and shoulders in one line, just like we were practicing chaturanga. Elbows to the blocks, forearms to the blocks, elbows stable. Curl your toes, lift your hips, and start to walk your feet in. So if you walk your feet in too far, right, you're going to be like this, which is not going to be aligned. My shoulders are working like crazy to hold me here. If I walk my feet into a space that's still sustainable and I can find a stacking of the joints, it actually feels a little more effortless, but really it just feels more attuned. So you can hang out there, and if you're not feeling it, you know what, child's pose is available. I just want you to feel how, like, okay, maybe it's the shoulders that are going to take a little extra work to actually get my hips to stack over them. Press down into your shoulders like crazy. Cool. Tap your knees down. Come on up to just kneeling. Okay, we're going to turn around and do the same thing, but now our legs are going to be longer. So you can watch me first, and then we'll move together. Two options here with the arms, and you're not going to be able to walk your feet in because they'll be on the block. So you kind of have to maybe tap down and move back and adjust your stance. Forearms can be parallel, or you can interlace the fingers. You choose which feels best. You're going to lift up and now put your toes on the block. So now my legs have a little extra height, and I can move back a little bit. So I'm just going to shift back and once again lift the hips. So you start to play with, like, once your hips are aligned and really stacked over the shoulders, that's when you can start to find some lift. We're not even going to try to balance. I just want you guys to feel this. So turn around, face the back of the room, forearms down. Pay attention to the alignment of your shoulders and elbows in one line. Be mindful of the blocks. I don't want them to roll. Kind of walk your feet to the front edge. Once we get upside down, often the elbows widen. So feel free to nudge them in so they're really under the shoulders. And I just want you to start to feel that. Okay, so what if my legs were a little bit more open? Then would I have access to get the hips over the shoulders more? And I'm not saying that some of you can't do forearm balance. I'm sure you can, but I just want you to feel this from a really aligned place. That's it. That's our peak. Come back, turn around. Drop your knees. Okay, we've done a lot of work in the legs. So half pigeon, if you want to move from down dog, great. If you want to just take one knee through and slide the other leg back. Half pigeon or figure four on your back. Feel free to use your blocks in any way that might support the posture. Sometimes we're resistant to these props, but they're there as tools to better align our body. For me, a big piece of alignment is community. Like who and what you surround yourself with. Who are those people that help you feel better aligned with your true self? Come back up and out of your hip opening and switch sides. Half pigeon on the left leg, or whatever other thing you're doing. Who and what brings a deeper sense of alignment to the entirety of you? What are the micro shifts and commitments that bring you back to your true self? Maneuver your way up and out of your hip opener. Make your way onto your back and make sure a block is close by. Supported bridge, place your feet on the earth. Lift your hips high enough to slide your block underneath your sacrum. And just drop in heavy there. Extend your legs up the wall if that's calling your name. Pluck your feet from the earth, send them skyward, and give your feet some love. Point and flex. Rock and roll. What are your values? What are your passions? What are your strengths? What ignites more of that in your world? Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Lift your hips and remove your block. You can give yourself a squeeze, a happy baby. If something else is calling your name to seal in your practice, please do that. And if you would like to set up final Shavasana, you have two blocks. You can wedge them underneath the backs of your knees just to elevate your legs slightly. You can even go behind your calves. Optional if you wanted. Otherwise, Shavasana, just taking up space on the floor. The sealing in of the practice. What has shifted for you from an hour of moving outwardly from the inner landscape? Begin to widen your breath. You may feel better to stay still longer. Begin to flutter and flicker your fingers and toes. And you can move and exaggerate movement until you roll to a side body. And if you'd like to meet me in a seat, no rush to get there. What are the pieces and the things that have risen up through this practice that help you feel more attuned? Or maybe it's the opposite. And you know what? That's valuable information as well. What and who in your life brings the whole of you into better alignment and harmony? Bring your hands together at center heart. And just bowing into yourself, to this community, the other people in this room. Chin to chest, mind to heart. Thank you.